Book 6 is going to destroy me. I think it is book 6. So I'm looking forward to it, but not entirely, because I do like books that like hurt, but I don't like getting hurt, you know? You know what I mean? I don't, unless, no, it has to be this, god damn it. Hi, so today is September 27th and I've officially started Official Blessings book 6. I actually started it yesterday because my mom dragged me to work, and so I need something to do, so I thought, might as well have an Official Blessings to start it then. And I did. I'm on page 29, I believe, question mark, I think so. Yeah, I'm on page 29. I'm at the part where Shellyan just fell into the webs with Nanfang and Fuyao, and he's laughing his ass off while Fuyao is getting mad, as Fuyao does. But yeah, I'm very excited. They also ended up in a temple of 10,000 gods, I think it was, something like that. Like, there are a lot of statues there. And Hua Chang is acting very weird. So I'm assuming all of the statues are of Shellyan, especially because of the first artwork that was in the book. It looked very much like statues of Shellyan. So I'm assuming that's his cave. Did he, like, because he spent 10 years at Mount Tonglu. So he might as well just spend those 10 years making those statues. That would be like 1,000 statues a day. Was it 10,000? No way. I just made that up. Nope. 10,000 gods. Yep. So this motherfucker made 1,000 statues a year during the 10 years that he spent at Mount Tonglu. That's kind of terrifying. But anyway, I'm gonna try and continue it today because I wanted to get to 50% as soon as possible, just so that Steph can also start. Because she's giving me a bigger head start than before, because I had 2 weeks of a head start to her and she's still caught up. So, you know, we're gonna try and, you know, go through this. I'm scared. I'm very nervous. I mean, I'm still laughing, okay? It's still funny. It's still a bit goofy right now. So I hope it stays this way for a while, because I'm scared. I'll keep you guys updated. I feel like I say this every single vlog, but I'll try to film more updates, just because I know I tend to forget to update. But it's because most of the time I don't really know what to say, except that, like, oh, it's goofy or this and that. So, you know, I'll try. I'll try. I promise. Hi. If you hear music or sounds in the background, my camera is right next to my laptop and it's making noise again. So if you hear buzzing sounds, I apologize. I have no idea when I started this book. It is currently October 6th, 2:44 a.m. and I'm on page 50. I haven't read much, okay? I don't know when I started this, but I have not made any progress. This is the first time I pick it up this month. So we're doing great. We're almost a week into this month and I still haven't really touched anything. I'm not meeting my goal this year. I think this will be the first year where I won't be meeting my goal. I might just do a small readathon again in December, just to try and get more reading done, okay? I might do 24-hour readathons by myself, or with Steph if she wants to, because I gotta read. I'm currently where we just fell into a hole, into a bunch of spider webs. Then we got back out. Also, Shellyan finally revealed that he knew all along that Nanfang and Fuyao were Function and Mu Qing, which I knew from the start because it was so obvious. Their personalities were exactly the same, and also the names were kind of like similar, especially Nanfang's. Like, I think Function's like heavenly title or whatever it is Nanyang, and then his name is Function. So Nanfang, Function, Nanyang. It's like it was, you know, it was kind of obvious. And also just their personalities, especially Mu Qing with his rolling eyes, and just them two, like always fighting each other. Like, it was obvious. I love how you can see Fiona in the background. But yes, and then we got out, like I said, and basically Mu Qing and Function figured out that who Huachang is, that he's Hong Honger, which I know that in book 2, I think, Shilian had like kind of like a mini flashback when he saw, what's his face? Lang Ying eating. It had like a mini flashback of Hong Honger. So yeah, and now he knows, and you know, because basically Mu Qing figured out the entire plot of the series by the little bead hanging by at Hua Chang's brain, which was the same bead that like Shilian lost, and that he spent a year and longer searching for it because he was falsely accused / assumed that he was being accused of stealing it, basically. And yeah, and so right now I don't know, like I just got to page 50, so I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, so far I'm having fun. It's still fun, okay? It's still fun, but I know it's not gonna last long. I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's gonna get difficult once we hit the flashbacks again, which I don't know when that'll be, because I'm assuming that the next chapter, because this chapter 93, is a long bitch, okay? So I'm gonna be spending a lot of time on this chapter. Yeah, so 94 is still in present day. Then we have, then we have Act 4, and I'm assuming this is in the past, I think. Methinks, I believe it is. Yeah, so I have 2 more chapters, which would be like this much. And then we're in the past. And you know, from what Kenzie told me, like when I was complaining about the flashback half of book 2 and then also the half of book 3 being a flashback, she was like, oh yeah, book that's gonna happen again in book 6. I thought it was gonna be half the book again. No, it's this, all it is. This is all flashbacks, apparently, I think. Please tell me no. It is. Great. What the fuck was that? But yes, my camera's about to die. I'm gonna keep going. Hi, it's been a minute. It's been a couple of days. But I reached arc 5. I'm on chapter 95. Arc 5, I'm on arc 4, okay? So I finished arc 3 last night. I'm terrified. I was having a good time because I thought it was really funny when there was the avalanche caused by fucking Function and Mu Qing fighting again, which then led to Shilian discovering the 10,000 Gods cave, and then also discovering that Fuyao and Nanfang are in fact Mu Qing and Function. It's just something that I thought was very obvious from the start, and I figured that Shilian had to know who those two really were very early on, and so according to him, he knew ever since Banyue Pass, so that's fun. But the way that when he discovered Mu Qing was just so angry, and like, because he thought that Shilian didn't say that he knew just to make fun of them, even though it is a funny thing. It is very funny. I think Mu Qing is a little overreacting, but you know, considering what I've heard of him and already like from what I've seen with like any scenes that he's in, I kind of have an idea of why he's the way that he is, and I'm not excited because that means I'm gonna relate. The way every time I take a quiz of having official blessings, I either get Yushi Huang or Mu Qing, and not that long ago I got fucking Fuyao, so I don't know what the difference is between him and Mu Qing, but I guess you're like, since you want to know again, I guess here's a different one. Not really different, but here's a different, you know, answer. I don't know why either, but I also thought it was really interesting with the writing while they were like discovering all of the statues and the murals, because after Function and Mu Qing discovered the statues and the murals, you can, like, even before that, when they were still in the spider's web, technically I guess not the spider's web, but the butterfly web thingy. My neighbor is just rolling into its parking lot, or no, rolling out. Bye-bye, sir. I guess when they were still stuck in like the butterfly web thing. It was already the description of Hua Chang kind of changed, because beforehand, whenever he would appear, it would always be a figure in red, in crimson, whatever. But now, for like the description of, because like anytime Hua Chang would appear, it would like not say Hua Chang was there, it would just like saying a figure appearing, would be like a blood red figure, a bloody red figure, a bloody figure. And so just that description made his appearance so much more eerie than before. Like, it literally made him even more threatening. I don't know if that was intentional or if that was meant to be written as kind of like function and Mu Qing's perspective from when Hua Chang appeared compared to when Xie Lian like sees him in front of him and just like describes him. Hi, editing Chloe here with Fiona on her lap. I'm watching this clip right now and I just thought of how interesting it would have been if the plot twist was that Hua Chang really was insane. You know, like the way that Function and Mu Qing are trying to make him out to be when they saw the 10,000 statues and stuff like that. And the fact that they realized who he was, like how long he's been following Xie Lian. It would have been really interesting if like that, like after Xie Lian actually went after him, it was revealed that he actually was that insane. And kind of like a Phantom of the Opera situation, like the obsession with him. That would have been kind of interesting. I'm wondering if there's a fan fiction like that, because I know that some people ship Function with Xie Lian, so I'm interested to see, because I recently read The Phantom of the Opera, okay, leave me alone. I was actually reading The Phantom of the Opera at the same time that I was reading this, and so I actually could really see a fan fiction or like a Heaven Official Blessings AU where Hua Chang is the Phantom, Xie Lian is Christine, and then Function is Raoul, where it's basically a Heaven Official's Blessings Phantom of the Opera AU. I think that would be really interesting. I think I've seen people actually draw fan art like that. Like that would be really interesting, honestly, to see. I don't know, I might have to look into that, or maybe I'll have to write one myself. That might be my very first fan fiction ever. I think that was very interesting, kind of like when I like realized that. I don't know if that was intentional or if I'm just like making shit up, but you know, that's something I noticed. And I don't think that they've done that before, like afterwards. I also don't think they've ever described him as like being bloody red, a bloody red figure before. So I really think it was just because to make the situation even more like eerie and like creepy. It was really interesting. Not excited that White No Face is back. I mean, I figured he was gonna be back because I knew he was gonna come back. But boy, I knew that Lang Ying was not to be trusted just because of his name. If you watched my first vlog, you saw me figure out and also like looking into to like confirm my own suspicions as to if Lang Ying is the one that I thought it was. I thought it was the exact same person as the one from in the past in Helloooo, but apparently not, question mark. Apparently he is a child of Helloooo who had the like human face disease, but he died. And then White No Face, which I'm pretty sure I know who it is, and I think I've already mentioned it before, I'm gonna keep calling him White No Face just because I'm still not 100% certain. But things are adding up now a bit more. Every time, the more I continue reading, the more I'm certain that this man is White No Face, but that's, you know, a question, a thing for later. And he basically convinced Lang Ying to let him possess his body, like his ghost's body, which then he basically did the same as He Xuan did with Earthmaster Ming Yi, which basically would be to eat him from the inside out, to absorb him entirely until he became Lang Ying, or Lang Ying became White No Face. Oh goodness. So that means that all those years after Junwoo killed him, to restore his power, he basically convinced Lang Ying to let him possess him. Obviously I'm editing this after I finished it. At the end, when Xie Lian was like, again, trying to get people to stab him to be able to save them, because to be able to not like have human face disease, you have to be a murderer, you have to take in a life. at that point when all the ghosts were like in the sky and like going to attack the people there, there was a child again that was getting the human face disease, and his dad was ready to like stab Shilian with his son, but someone stopped him. Is that child Lang Ying? I'm trying to think of the last child I saw that could have had face disease, and it's that. Is that right? That's the only obstacle that I have in my theory, because my theory is that Junwoo is white no face. But now, knowing that those two actually like fought, and it was witnessed by other people that those two fought, the thought of, you know, it being kind of like Junwoo but with a fake identity, or the other way around, that white no face is Junwoo, because there's no way that, first of all, white no face isn't the crown prince of Wuyong, which we discussed in book 5. There's no way those two motherfuckers are different people. Plus, I'm pretty sure that is also Junwoo, which is also kind of like the things connecting. But the fact that they fought, you know what I mean? I don't, unless, no, there has to be this, god damn it. And now we're in the kiln, I keep wanting to call it the clit, but that's not what it is. We're in the kiln now, and Hua Chang isn't there with us, because white no face, this bitch, threw Hua Chang back out, and now this bitch wants either Shilian to die, so he kills Shilian and becomes a supreme again, or he wants Shilian to kill himself, then kill him, so that Shilian becomes a supreme. Why? At first I was kind of excited for Shilian to become a supreme, because I feel like that would be, you know, cool to see. Like, he went from human to god to fallen god to supreme. That would be really interesting to see. But then I didn't realize that he had to kill himself to do that. So I just thought, okay, so then we kill white no face and then we can become a supreme. That's kind of cool. Nope, he gotta die first. I don't know why. Now I'm not that excited anymore. God, I'm terrified. At the very least, I'm glad that like the scene that's on the cover wasn't that traumatizing. It was literally just them confessing to each other. That was fucking adorable. Also, Shilian wanting to run away again after Hua Chang kissed him again. Why would that be me though? Jesus, I'm fucking terrified. Am I in the past already? Or am I still in the present day? Trying to figure out from some of the dialogues and the names that I see, but apparently not. Am I or am I? I think we're back. Oh god, I think this is right after Shilian's first banishment. If I'm assuming correctly from the next picture. Which, good god, what is this? I'm not excited for any of this. You see, I was having fun at the beginning of this, okay? I'm still having fun, but I'm not even 50% in, and I'm already dreading the rest of this book. I hope that the last two, apparently no, because I was hoping the last two ones were a bit more tame and humane, but apparently book 8 is also fucking heart-wrenching, so why did I start this? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I here? Also, I'm making a Shilian bookmark. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's been a minute. I've been wanting to film an update for the past couple of days, but I just haven't. I think it's because I keep forgetting. That's just what it is. But yes, I'm on page 184. And I'm curious, but I'm also fucking terrified. I got to, well, obviously I got to the flashback now, and I'm terrified because at the beginning of this flashback, Shilian wakes up from a nightmare where his parents were like hanging, and because of like just right before Shilian passed out because of white no face. Like, I'm terrified that the reason why he showed him these images of his parents, that so many things are going wrong, is because of white no face, and he's doing this in order to get him to basically become a supreme as well. Like, that's what he wants, him to become. I don't know why. I feel like White No Face has some kind of obsession with Shillian and kind of like wants him in general, but he also wants him to kind of like join him because he knows he's that powerful, and like he maybe wants someone else who's also as powerful to be with. But it's very strange. Like, I get the feeling that there's that obsession and there is him wanting it to be Shillian, but not necessarily for like because he hates him, but mainly because he just wants him near, you know what I mean? It's very strange. One thing I do have to say though is that this flashback is making me dislike Function so much, because like the way every time he interacts with Mu Qing, even in present day, but especially in this flashback, like Mu Qing can't say a word, like whether it's simply speaking or rightfully like reprimanding Shillian because of the way that he's like either behaving or like, you know, what he's doing, especially now that he's no longer a crown prince. There's a lot of things that should be different, but like for some reason they're still treating him almost like a slave. Even though they don't have a title anymore, he's still expected to do everything for them, like the laundry, like taking care of them, basically doing the role that he had when they were still royalty, even though now they're no longer royalty. And like Function clearly has no problem doing this because he wants to do it, but then the moment that Mu Qing like reprimands Shillian or says anything other than praising him or just says anything, Function is immediately at his throat just talking shit, and I'm like, dude, what is your problem? It really makes me wonder why he's talking to him like that. But from like the flashback that we've seen, he literally has had no reason to like dislike him other than just disliking him. And I feel like that's the conflict of like the two characters, because I feel like Mu Qing is very like in his head about everything and like always assumes that people hate him, and so that's why he sometimes acts the way that he does and kind of like acts coldly. But also him leaving the group, and you know, because of his own mother, like that's reasonable. And then immediately Function is like, oh sure, that's the only reason? Oh sure, you're not just a coward just because now things are getting hard, you want to leave? So what if he does? It's called survival, bitch. Like, he has no responsibilities anymore. Like, even if y'all were friends, if he had a way to make his life better, why wouldn't you want that for him? Why are you making him feel guilty about leaving to take care of his own mother, because she's also elderly, apparently? Already had to stay away for so long because he was supposed to take care of Shillian, and now he's supposed to take care of Shillian, Function, the queen and the king. But he has his own elderly mother to take care of as well on the other side. So like, him choosing his mother is like reasonable to me. I don't know what his problem is. But according to Kenzie, Mu Qing does something kind of like messed up in return. I'm sorry, I was trying to keep it like short and just put it in text, but no. Because listen, I will not stand for this Mu Qing slander. I think I'll also mention it in the outro that I filmed, but I will not stand for this. Because listen, but I'm yelling. Because listen, when it comes to Mu Qing leaving, and also apparently like having done, like I've seen what he's done now, obviously, which I am going to talk about later. What was I gonna say? Yes, even in this flashback in book 6, when they were out and about trying to earn money, Mu Qing would suggest something to when Shillian would be like thinking like, okay, maybe it's time to go, you know, be a street performer, which apparently is like such a shameful thing to do. I don't know. And then immediately Function interjects being like, are you fucking stupid? No, we're not doing that. That's ridiculous. And then immediately, instead of Shillian being like, kind of like, you know, telling him to calm down, that it's not that bad of an idea, that they actually should do it, he just shuts his mouth and walks away. It's obvious that Function has a much more malice towards Mu Qing for no reason other than him breathing, and Shillian is just letting it happen. And then when Mu Qing just like also retaliates against Function, then suddenly they're fighting. Suddenly both of them are getting punished. I'm sorry, if Mu Qing does something wrong because like as a form of revenge in a way, I'm good. I understand. I'm not gonna be mad at him. I'm sorry. It's deserved for like the treatment that I think specifically Function puts him through. But apparently like he does something messed up, which I don't know what it's going to be. But it's already like the feeling that I had that he did something way back then because of the way Function has been talking about him to Shillian to stay away from Mu Qing. Not really as being just like being his regular bitch ass, but just like genuinely concerned. So that's gonna be interesting to see. But yeah, I don't like the way that they've been treating him. Especially because Shillian literally said that he sees all of them as like friends, right? And he thought that friends were going to be staying together forever, yada yada yada. And Mu Qing leaving kind of like messed him up with that. But like, if you're treating your friends like a slave, I don't think you're a good friend. Because like, what do you mean? He had to take care of the finances, of the laundry and everything else, taking care of your parents just because you used to be a prince and he used to be your like maid, I guess. That's so weird to me. I don't know if there was anything else. Alright, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last update. I have no idea. I don't remember where I stopped in the last update. I really should just like mark it down. Shillian's cooking. Like, Kenzie already told me about like how Shillian, there's a reason why Shillian can't cook. And according to the flashback, his cooking is like average. It's fine. But the reason why his cooking is bad now is because of his mom. Because his mom used to cook like this. And then his mom is so fucking adorable too. I don't care about his dad. His dad can go choke on his own blood. I really don't give a fuck. This man is annoying. Sorry for the voice crack. But yeah, oh god. I also love Huachang's like little appearances as like a little ghost fire. And the first time was when he like there was this like dude, this older guy selling haunted lanterns. And one of them had Huachang imprisoned in it. And it's so fucking adorable the way, like, oh my god. I'm terrified. I'm so fucking scared. Especially because I saw what the next image is. What do you... Also, when Shillian's mom asked about Mu Qing and where he was, like shit, like it's described as Shillian having his heart squeezed at the thought of Mu Qing. So clearly he cares about him. But then why would you treat him as a slave? That's my, like, that's what I'm, I know that you, like, your whole relationship was that you're the prince, Function is the bodyguard, and then Mu Qing is your maid basically. But like, if you really thought of them as friends after you lose that title, why would you still treat them that way? Like he realized, like he, like poor thing, poor Shillian. Like there was this noble who was getting beaten up by his servant because like apparently this guy was terrible and like really abusive and not paying his servants well. And then Shillian felt like, oh god, is that me? And then he looked at Function and like thought of, you know, maybe he was also being abusive and like holding him back, and he gave him that fucking belt. And not long after, you've got Function fucking whistling and grinning like an idiot, probably because he met the god, what was her face again? Lanchang? Junlan. Yeah, so I'm assuming that he met her now. God, I'm terrified for what's coming next, because I, like, from the bits and pieces of backstory that I've already gotten about, like, this era, I'm scared. Because I know something's going to happen to Shillian, or something's going to happen that will make Function leave. But I don't know what yet, because clearly he didn't leave for like that, god, I can't remember her name, for that woman. What was her name? I don't want to call her that woman. That's rude. Lanchang, right? Yeah, Lanchang. I'm just gonna call her Lanchang. He clearly didn't leave with Lanchang, but he clearly left, which is not something I expected him to do. Maybe when he saw that Shillian wasn't really doing like much of his cultivation, like really like working on trying to get back to the heavens or something something that makes him lose like that absolute devotion to stay there and stay with Shilian. But I don't know what yet. I can't figure it out because clearly it's not Lanchang. I don't know what it is. I'm also wondering how the fuck did his parents die. I don't know if it's because of old age or like his dad died of the disease that he had and then his mom died later on because of like grief, or like maybe also she also caught an illness or something. I hope it's not because they got caught by the Yongan guard. Like, they're on the run, right? Why can't you, like, clearly nobody likes the Shenle royalty anymore. What makes you so afraid of them still being alive? You know what I mean? Like, leave them alone. You know? I also love how they're treating, like, street performances as, like, the bottom of the barrel. I can see from like their perspective as like being like royalty and like up there, to then suddenly having to perform a circus in the middle of the street. I can see why that would be embarrassing, but like they're treating it like it's the end of the world, like it's the worst thing that they could do. When they said let's give it a try, like they're gonna try and do something to get money, I thought they're gonna go rob a bank, they're going to, you know, start their own strip club or something that would literally just bring shame to his dad. How is performing on the street that bad for them, you know? Not that there's anything bad with strip clubs, okay? Like, do what you gotta do, but like from especially because they did treating like, you know, performers or like performers in general like the bottom of the barrel. So you performed on like a stage where you call your future husband. The fuck do you mean? And then Shilian being drunk, like and Shilian swearing. Kenzie like warned me, like, because I saw that the next image was him clearly being drunk, and then she was like, oh, that image. Yeah, because I was talking about the next image and like how it's concerned, and then she was like, I think I know the image that you're talking about, and then I was like, oh, it's the drunken image, and she's like, oh yeah, that one as well. I don't know if it's the like image after this one that I should be concerned about. Like, that's the most concerning. I hope that's the most concerning because that looks fucking horrible. If there's something worse than that, I might just let me not finish that thought. But then she also told me that I should wait for when Shilian starts swearing, and I was like, no way in hell that he's gonna be swearing, right? Like, he does, like, I don't see Shilian swearing ever. I don't even remember if in like at the beginning of the book he was swearing. I have no idea. But yeah, and he's been drunk for 2 days. Like, I thought Lang Wangji was a menace when he was drunk. Shilian's worse. So yeah, now I'm at the part where Shilian went up a hill to go work on his cultivation and to train where, and now he ran into a bunch of other heavenly officials. Also love how he had his Robin Hood moment and now it's eating him alive. I love how so many things that like aren't the end of the world are to him like being seen as like the worst thing ever. Like, because he said that when he was still like royalty, he would think that robbery, no matter the reason, it's still robbery. And now that he's in this position, he's like, okay, maybe I should eat my words because maybe not that bad. And now he didn't even rob anyone, he only did like attempted robbery, and he's still like, it's still eating him up alive. So it's not like you murdered somebody. I love him though, I really love him. I'm terrified, and I'm also curious of what Mu Qing is going to do. I don't know if it's in this book or if it's in the next, because I'm pretty sure that this whole book, except for like maybe the first 2 or 3 chapters, are backstory. And so I don't, hold on, let me check when the backstories end. Hold on, let me check. I'm terrified. Okay, so I think this is Shilian waking up again in Mount Tonglu in the kiln. Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh, thank God. I was terrified. I hope this one's a bit more tame, because going off the pattern that we've had for the past couple of books is that it's been that book 4 was terrifying, book 5 was fine, and now book 6 is terrifying. So I'm hoping book 7 is going to be fine, and maybe we'll end the series with trauma. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past MXCX to do that, so slay, I guess. Okay, that's the update for now. I think I'll try to give an update as soon as I hit chapter 100, because that one looks terrifying. So, you know, like, that's like the chapter I think where that image is in. The thing that, yeah, I'm so scared. I'll probably give an update when I get to that, or maybe sooner, who knows, if I have something to yap about. Hi, it's been a minute. Please don't comment about the hair, okay? I was trying to have a jellyfish cut thing going on. However, the hairdresser that I went to, who is a family friend, had never done any haircuts like that before. So she ended up giving me a bob and 2 braids, which it's not very jellyfish-like, but more I'm a little guy who loves berries and cream with 2 rat's tails. I'm very well aware of how the hair looks, so please ignore it. But I'm currently on, I just got to chapter 101. Not very happy. I'm not enjoying it. Not as in it's bad, but as in there's nothing to enjoy. It's all trauma. One thing that I did like specify to Steph, because she didn't know, I'm sorry if you're hearing a noise, my computer is about to explode. I told her that this is like present day, and then this, all the rest of the book is flashbacks, which compared to the last flashback, which could very much be like complete one entire volume, you know, the one that I kept ranting about in the first video. Yeah, so this one's a bit shorter, and also this one's a bit easier to like get through, just because compared to the other flashback, we already got like the gist of what was about to happen, just because of like the things that was already told before. Compared to this one, like, it's both the story of Shilian's first banishment and also the story of how Hua Chang became a ghost king, which I just finished the part where he basically turned from a little ghost fire to an actual like humanoid ghost. Listen, I want to cry so bad, because what do you mean that is how he took, like, Shilian, who just got stabbed over 100 times, that is what makes him break out and basically just become the next ghost king, basically. Like, that sets him up on his journey. The fact that Shilian is also on an altar bleeding out while Hua Chang is sobbing on the ground in front of it, and there's a bunch of corpses around them, because when he, like, the ghost fire of Hua Chang exploded, it burned up first of all the entire Crown Prince temple, it burned up the forest around them, and it basically scared off all of the spirits that were buried there. What do you mean? Like, that is what made him, like, turn. Like, that is the beginning of Hua Chang. Also, I don't remember what was the last update that I did, if I spoke about Mu Qing. I think I did say about him not liking, basically him being treated like a slave still now, even though now none of them have any title to their name. The dad pisses me off. And then White No Face, oh my fucking god. I hate this bitch. Is so fucking creepy, because at the same time he hurt Shilian so much, but then again he's acting like he's only doing that to save him or something like that. It's fucking weird the way he pets his head all the time. And then Function, I'm pretty sure we already got a hint that the couple of times the way he went to go he went to go fucking shoot arrows for money is also when he went to meet his girlfriend, which I keep forgetting her name, but it's fine. And like when he said, like, now I see why he didn't want to tell Shilian about it when it was happening, because of, like, that was literally, like, when he wanted to tell Shilian, clearly it was also at the same time that Shilian was like going through it, you know what I mean? And also, one thing, Shilian attempted to rob somebody and everybody's acting like he fucking murdered an entire family. Can we calm down? It's like, compared to some of the shit that's going on like right now in the real world, the like attempted robbery seems so minuscule. It's hard to take serious. At the same time, I feel like him being a prince and also just having been a god would make like him robbing someone seem like a weird thing to do. But at the same time, he's literally poor. Like he's basically homeless now. He has like like they are squatting. They're basically homeless. And so him going out attempting to rob someone is not unheard of. Like it's not such a weird thing. And listen, I don't support robbery, okay? But like they're acting like he did this for fun and then he also ended up murdering somebody. That's the way they're treating this right now. Apples and cows, please. And that is also, that being the reason that so many of these motherfuckers decided it was okay to stab him to save their own lives. It's so upsetting. And then also that for so many of them, it turned out to be for nothing because Hua-Chang exploded and they all got burnt to ashes. The fact that it was for nothing, the fact that he went through all of that for nothing is absolutely heart-wrenching. I'm not excited for what's next. Hold on. What's the next image? Because I don't want a jump scare, to be honest. Oh wow. Oh. No. I'm not even gonna flip back to that. Anyways, on another little note. So yeah, I think I mean on Thursday there's a live stream with Spring, so I'll probably be reading that one. This because we're supposed to pick our like scariest Halloween book. I think this one fits perfectly for it, okay? Also, Steph just started reading it. She's terrified, but I'm like, sis, if you're terrified of what's going on right now in present day before the flashback, you better quit now. You better quit now because, like I even said in the Discord server, I said that there's someone that responded, that someone was Emily who also bought this book for my birthday. And I was like, listen, I love you and thank you so much for this gift, but I'm never touching this thing again after I'm done with it. I'm never rereading this one. She was like, I understand. I will not go back to it either. If I ever do reread Heaven Official's Blessing, it'll be one for like reliving the experience and seeing like if there's anything I missed of like the foreshadowing and everything. But I'll definitely skip book 6, like for sure. I might even skip parts of book 4 because I don't want to relive some of these things, okay? Book 4, like the Beef Leaf arc just got made into the audio drama. I've heard clips of that, of that specific scene. What do you mean? On another note, I'm still preparing for the con this weekend. Oh geez. So I don't think I'll be able to update while I'm there, which is like we're going to a hotel that's like literally right next to the con. But I did make some of these like mystery bags. I'm making a couple of that are Heaven Official's Blessings themed because I accidentally printed out too many prints and stuff for my display. So, and I didn't want to throw them out, so I thought, let me put them in these little mystery bags so that they're kind of like, you know, I'll put their like B grade stuff in the mystery bag just so that people know that it's like some of the things they can find like regularly in my shop, but all the things in there are like less good quality than what's on the table, what's visible basically. So yes, and I've got a couple of Heaven Official's Blessings ones. Also started making these little bookmarks. Let me show you. Hold on, I hope it focuses. There you go. This is the first one that I made, and because it's like not my favorite, I just decided to put it also in a mystery bag. Like it's still one of the things I'm gonna be selling. Like I've got, let me show you. I got a fuckload of these bookmarks, of these ribbon bookmarks, and with the metallic bookmarks. So I've got enough. But yes, and also kept a couple of prints for myself to hang up on my wall just because I also want to have some of them because I love these prints. Hi. So I just wanted to film a proper outro for this vlog because I feel like once again I did not film enough updates. I didn't tell enough of like my feelings of like while I was reading the book, And for this one, I specifically really wanted to like talk about that specifically because book 6 was the one that I was like looking forward to the most, both because of how, you know, how hyped up it was from my friends, and also just considering that apparently for every single one of them, book 6 was just heart-wrenching and terrifying for them. And to the point where my friend Emily, who gifted me book 6 for my birthday this year, she was, I told her, you know, I'm sorry, I love you and thank you for the gift, but I'm never touching this book again when I reread the series. And she was like, I understand, same. So I'm surprised I didn't cry more, but I think it's also because, oh my god, my cat is having a zoomies. I think it's also because I was reading a lot of like the like painful parts while I was, you know, in that space of like, I can't cry right now. Especially because I wish I had done the same thing as I did for book 4, where I would read it while recording my reaction, because I did cry a lot. I'll put a couple of like pictures on screen of when I cried during my read of book 6, but I'm upset that I didn't immediately pick up my camera and record myself and like what I was feeling at that moment, because for specifically the first terrifying bit where, you know, Celian's getting stabbed, I had spoiled myself. And I also had spoiled myself for the second one where Celian's parents are hanging themselves. So I had spoiled myself, so I knew it was coming. And I think I mentioned this as well while I was talking about it, but I loved how it built up to it. Like, even though I knew it was coming, the build up to it, like what led to it, makes it even, like, knowing it made it even worse. Because like, I think if I had gone into it completely blind without knowing what was coming, I think I wouldn't have had the same amount of pain. I think it would have I think the surprise would have probably kind of like taken me out, I guess, a little bit. Okay, probably, hopefully the last time that I interject. What I was trying to say is that, what was I trying to say? Yes. I keep wanting to interject to add something, but I forget what I wanted to add. I think what made me feel so much more pain to what happened was probably because, yes, I knew it was coming, but then also knowing what was coming, seeing like the first, like the beginning of the chapter of before it happens, and like the pages leading up to it, like the little bits and pieces that, if done differently, could have basically made it not happen. You know, like, so if you change even just like small things, it could have gone completely different. And knowing what was coming, seeing that somehow made it worse, and I love it. Like, I think I'm probably gonna feel similarly once I do reread the series. Now, having finished it, I feel like even if I do a reread of Heaven Official Blessings, I might also reread book 6 and book 4, but probably just skipping some parts. Now, also knowing what happens, I'll probably be able to skip some bits and pieces that I don't care about. So like, even like, for example, if I reread it, I probably won't read the backstory in books 2 and 3 because they weren't as interesting as the one in book 6. Surprisingly enough, because book 6 is just fucking terrifying. But anyway, I might just skip bits and pieces to just get the parts of the relive the parts of the story that I generally loved. So that might be an idea. I'm probably not gonna do that anytime soon, just because, I mean, I'm almost done with Heaven Official Blessings, and then I also have Grandmaster Moral Cultivation that Steph and I are trying to finish in 2025, and then we have Scumvillain also to start. Then we also have, I still have Stars of Chaos to finish that I soft enough. But yeah, there's a fuckload of anime that we still need to get to, and we're going to get to them, okay? We are. So yeah, that's just the little thing I wanted to interject with. The little bits and pieces that led up to it, that you knew, like, if it had gone differently, it would have been less painful. But also, like, not just knowing the bits and pieces they've done differently, but it's also just like, obviously if things had gone differently, the result would have been different, but like, knowing exactly what led up to it, and like how easy it would have been to have avoided it. Like, it's, I don't know why that makes it feel so much more painful. But yeah, that's another thing that I'm gonna add later on in the outro to also talk about that same thing. I think I'm gonna talk about it now, I don't know. But yeah, if I forgot to talk about it, I'll probably interject again. So I'm glad in a way, I'm glad I spoiled myself. Like, this is also kind of like what made me realize that I actually don't mind spoilers, because even spoilers or no spoilers, if your book is good, with or without spoilers, it'll still be good, because seeing the build up to it made it even better. Knowing it and seeing the build up to it made it even better. You know what I mean? So I feel like because of this specifically, this book specifically made me realize that. And that is probably going to affect my reading from now on until forever, because I'll be a little less like inclined to look away to make sure I don't get spoiled, because I want to see the build up basically, because then that'll basically be the same thing as like rewatching or rereading something, and then you see the build up to a certain plot twist or like an important moment. And so I want to see if like the build up to it does justice to the thing, you know, if it makes sense, if it's good, if it like works. Because like I said, no matter if you get spoiled or not, if your book is good, it'll still be good even with people getting spoiled. That's that whole thing. And yeah, one part I actually really loved was Mu Qing, that whole bit, because I've been wondering what the hell happened between them, because in the first flashback in book 2 and 3, we saw how Function and Mu Qing just actually really never got along, and in part I think it's because of both of their characters just being completely like both very hard-headed and just that kind of like always bashes into each other basically. But with Mu Qing is that like he seems to always assume that everybody hates him right out of the gate, like no matter what. And that, I think that also shows like he's very paranoid, because I think he felt so out of place being like Shellyan's servant back then. Like he felt so out of place because these people are like obviously in society of a higher status than him, so if anything happens, he wouldn't be surprised if he would be the first one to be accused of something, especially seeing how he got bullied as well. So that whole thing, like I think I know why he is the way that he is, because listen, I've talked about this multiple times. Every time I do a Heaven Official's Blessings character quiz, I always either end up with Mu Qing or Yu Shi Huang. So I don't know how I like the fact that it's Yu Shi Huang. Yeah, I like Yu Shi Huang. I don't know how to feel about Mu Qing though, because in book 6 we also find out that when Hua Chang or Hong Hong at the time joined the army, Mu Qing actually threw him out without Shellyan's knowing, which I don't like. That also speaks to him kind of like being, first of all, being jealous, and second of all, also fearing for his place, because he could tell that Shellyan, you know, wanted to bring him the same way he brought Mu Qing in, and so he was probably scared to be replaced. And that is like understandable, and at the same time fucked up. He's an asshole. But also, Hua Chang, it's been 800 years. You're a ghost king now. Why hasn't he moved on? That's one of the things I have to complain about Hua Chang, is that I can understand as well why he's so hung up on that, because I mean that's his husband. But at the same time, sir, it's been 800 years. I know that might just be the Mu Qing defender in me, but yes. And so that I'm interested to see how that goes, because now that, you know, we know a bit more, I'm interested to see how specifically the relationship between Shellyan, Function, and Mu Qing is going to turn out. How, like, what is it going to be like in, I don't know. I don't know if in book 7 we have anything. I know that according to Kenzie, book 7 and 8 also take place at Mount Tonglu. So I'm so nervous. I'm so scared. According to Frankie, I think Frankie's the only one who like thinks this way, thinks that book 7 is not as good. Like, not that it was bad, but like boring according to her. So I'm glad that at the very least it's not, you know, book 4 and book 6 level of heart-wrenching, but maybe a bit more tame, hopefully. But yeah, that's, oh jeez. So I'm excited to see that, kind of like where that goes, because I feel like the whole relationship between the three, like how it went sour and how they're not like close anymore, is mainly due to misunderstandings. Because even in book 6, when Mu Qing leaves and, you know, joins another god basically, but he still comes back to help out. Like, you can see that he thought of like a way, oh, he left, but he still found a way to try and help. But in doing so, like, especially because the tension already between Shellyan and his parents and Function is so hard. He's already gone through so much. White No Face is back, and then Mu Qing arrives again and basically kicks him out of the mountain because all of the other people that were there wanted him gone, and so he was like, I can't lose this spot, so bye. I can understand why he did it, but at the same time, the circumstances and like the already existing tension just made it out so much worse than I think it would have been if it was literally, if White No Face wasn't there, if like what Shilian went through, like the attempted robbery hadn't happened, you know, that whole thing that was like ready to explode. If that didn't exist, I don't think Shilian would have reacted the way that he did with Mu Qing when he reappeared. But yeah, I think because of all of those misunderstandings and also bad timing on Mu Qing's part, I think Mu Qing has an issue with like saying the right thing and doing the right thing at the wrong time, and I think that just follows him. Like I think Mu Qing himself has a fuckload of bad luck as well. So I'm interested because now that, you know, Shilian specifically has grown from all of that, and he seems to be like completely healed up, because like even at the end of the book, I love this moment so much because he's helping build basically both of their temples because they became gods, both of them, which is strange that they're both gods from like the same, like they're basically, their temples are right next to each other, like they have the same, I think the same region or whatever. I think that's awful. I think that's on purpose because I still have a theory that Junwoo is White No Face and nobody can convince me otherwise. Even Steph has started suspecting it. So if that is true, I think that is specifically like, what if it's because like he knows that they both hate each other, easily could like kill each other if things went far. So I feel like he purposefully made them both like gods of like the same region, so that they are forced to basically be like near each other all the time in hopes that they one day would kill each other so they would hurt Shilian. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And so with that, like while he was been in both their temples, obviously he can't cook to save his life, so they fire him without paying him, but he still goes and gives food to both of their temples. And I don't know why. I think I'm hoping that their relationship heals, because I think it took a hit because of everything that happened, specifically with Mu Qing. I will be a Mu Qing defender until the day I die. I don't care what anybody says. I think that's it. I think that's all I really had to say. I'm hoping I can see much more of Yushi Huang, because if the only time I see her in action was at the end of book 5, I'm gonna write it. No, I need a short story. I know that MXTX doesn't like writing, what was I trying to say? Like, for example, she'll never write a story of like a ship like Function and Mu Qing. Like, she'll never give a short story writing about their relationship and like maybe them ending up together, because from what I read, she doesn't want that to be taken away from the main ship, which is Watcher and Shilian. But still, something for the lesbians, please. Because listen, I'm happy that 7 Seas licensed so many danmeis. I think there were like 9 danmeis and 1 by her. Like, please, there's so many out there. Please, just 1 more. Why that one by her, what was it? Female guard and eldest princess had to be licensed by a problematic publisher. Like, why? Just give me my lesbians. I think that's all I really had to say. I'm not done editing the vlog yet, so if there's anything else, you'll probably see me pop back in at the end. For now, hopefully, this is it. Thank you guys for watching this video. Also, I started streaming on Twitch, where I usually play Genshin with stuff, or I also do some co-working / co-reading sprints. So if you want to go support me on there, the link is in my link tree, so you can go in there, and all of my links are there. I'll also leave a link to Steph and Kenzie's and all of that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next vlog. Hopefully the vlog for book 7 is going to be up this month as well, because I'm gonna start it soon. Yeah, it's November. We're halfway through November, so hopefully I can finish book 7 by the end of November, so that we can get to book 8 and finish having official blessings this year. That would be a slay. So bye.